In looking at the political and the corporate aspects of leadership, what we're making our way toward is asking the most logical question. Can an evangelical Christian vote for a Mormon to be president? He's going to be the head of the largest corporation, and he's going to be the most powerful political leader in the world. Well, I think that question has to still be addressed somewhat with caution. I want to speak here about Romney's personal bio, youth education, and political activities. Now, before I begin, please understand, I understand he's a centrist. Most people today are statists. They just don't understand the history of the Constitution and this country. And so even conservatives, many of them who identify themselves, are actually statists. Because if they have a post-14th Amendment view of America, they're basically statist, according to the historical intent of the constitutional founders and writers. So I'm not looking at that question. It's a given. The man is the one who represents the centrist party position. But I want us to look at this man because we have two options. We have a Marxist and we have a Mormon. What are you going to do? That's the question that I'm going to be working toward. Well, we've looked at President Obama. Let's look more closely at Romney. And I want to begin, as I said, with his personal bio, youth, education, and politics, as he's been involved. As I said, this question must be answered with some caution about, can evangelicals vote for a Mormon? First, we must remember that we are not voting for a Mormon to be the head of religion in America. Nor are we considering him for the office of national pastor of the American church. Nor are we saying that we agree with his religion as he believes it and practices it. By no means. Someone might object. Right Wing Reverend, if we vote for a Mormon as president, then we're sending a message to the world that Mormonism is all right. Well, if that's true, then you got to ask the question, did we not send the same message when we voted in John F. Kennedy as President of the United States concerning the fact that he was a Roman Catholic? And were not those the same objections raised then? What was the fallout from that? Nothing. Also, it was not John F. Kennedy, by the way, who established the first ambassadorship to the papacy. Yes, there were representatives all the way back to Roosevelt prior to us entering World War II. But the first official ambassador was Ronald Reagan during his administration. Also, there was no upward shift in membership in the Roman Catholic Church in America when Kennedy became president. Maybe a few more went to church. I know the Protestants went to church and even prayed harder. Nor did it hinder the apologetic work of Protestant Christianity in dealing with Roman Catholic truth claims and practices. Yes, no doubt this will be thrown into the face of former LDS Mormon members who are now carrying out evangelical missions to counter Mormon teachings and practices. However, I believe this fear is more personalized than objectively considered. That's simply my opinion. Second, we must consider the man who is actually running for the office and look at how he believes politically and lives out his life personally. Mitt Romney's personal bio, education, and business ought to be taken a look at. Mitt Romney is the son of Lenora and George W. Romney, who was governor of Michigan from 1963 through 1969. Mitt was raised in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, a very upstandard section of Michigan. After 1 year at Stanford University, Mitt spent 30 months in France doing his Mormon missionary responsibilities. In 1971, he finally earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in English from Brigham Young University. In 1975, Mitt entered a joint Juris Doctors and Master of Business Administration degrees from Harvard University and was awarded from the Business Administration School the acknowledgement of what is called a Baker Scholar. Well, what is a Baker Scholar? The Baker Scholar is the top academic honor that is given at Harvard Business School. It means that the individual is graduating with high distinction, and it's only given to the top 5% of the graduating MBA class. Romney was a Baker Scholar. Romney entered in the management consulting industry, which led in 1977 to a position with Bain & Company. Later, serving as chief executive officer, he helped bring the company out of financial crisis. In 1984, he co-founded the spinoff of Bain Capital, a private equity investment firm that became highly profitable and one of the largest such firms in the nation. And you've heard a lot of controversy about that. I am not going to get involved in that. I just want you to hear the man's background and bio. His net worth today is estimated at about $190 to $250 million. Wealth that has helped, of course, fund much of his political campaigns in the past and currently. He's active in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in the Mormon Church. He served as a bishop of his ward and later stake president in his home near Boston. He ran as a Republican candidate in 1994 in a U.S. Senate election in Massachusetts, losing to longtime incumbent Ted Kennedy. In 1999, he was hired as president and CEO of the Salt Lake Organizing Committee for the 2002 Winter Olympics and the Paralympics, and helped turn them both financially into a success when they were on the verge of collapse. Romney was eventually elected governor of Massachusetts in 2002, but he did not seek re-election in 2006. Nevertheless, I'm still trying to find out how he got elected as governor. I can't figure out how the other 6 registered Republicans in Massachusetts convinced the Democrats of that state that they actually had won an election. But somehow they did, and he was voted in as the governor of Massachusetts, as a Republican, believe it or not. During his term, Romney presided over a series of spending cuts and increases in fees that eliminated a projected $1.5 billion deficit from the state's budget. A pretty good accomplishment. Romney also signed into law the Massachusetts health care reform legislation, the first of its kind in any nation, which provides near universal health insurance access via state-level subsidies and individual mandates to purchase insurance. In our next presentation, I want to take that up, that very question of what was involved as governor for this man to be involved in creating this Massachusetts healthcare law, which has been identified naturally, as we have heard in the media, as Romneycare. So in the next presentation, let's look at the healthcare reformed legislation, why and how it was brought into existence.